Sometimes the people smiling in your face are the ones with their fingers and their toes crossed, hoping that you do not outdo them in life to save that good old self-esteem. And once the jealousy and the envy kick in, that's when people start moving totally different towards you. One thing I've noticed about people who are secretly jealous and envious of you is they don't show it in an obvious way. You really gotta pay attention and lock in so that the flags will truly reveal themselves. My little bear took a dive, but he back. It's crazy because people will literally smile in your face and really can't stand you for real. Or actually they stand you too much. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Tati. Welcome to my channel. I am your life lesson observational baddie. And I literally pay attention to every little thing. So you're not going to want to miss this video because today we are clocking on how to spot people who are jealous or even envious of you. And to truly understand the basis of this video, let's break down the difference between someone who is jealous of you and someone who is envious of you, because the two terms get interchanged, but they do not mean the same thing. Jealous people don't want you to have what you have. Envious people wish they had what you had. Jealousy is when someone is afraid that you will take what they have. You'll see that when they will think, oh, well, I don't want that person doing better than me. I don't want that person getting that job. I don't want that person to have a nice car. Because when you have these things, it ruffles the esteem in the inside. And if you guys don't know what esteem is how you feel about yourself, okay? Your self-esteem is how you feel about who you are, what you've accomplished, what you got going on. And unfortunately, when someone isn't secure in self, it is easy for them to see the lives of someone else and feel slighted or feel like the person that they're jealous of is taking the life that they feel like they are supposed to have. So jealousy literally comes from a place of, I do not want them having what I feel like should belong to me. Envy is seeing the life of someone else and saying, I want their life. You want their life because they have it. That is the epitome of envy. Wanting a life of what someone else has to the point where you become angry that they have that life and you don't. So it's very close to jealousy, but slightly different, because when you're jealous, you feel like, oh, well, if they get all the spotlight, I won't get any. It's very much so, I don't want them to have that because I feel like it belongs to me. When you're envious, you want the life of somebody else, regardless. Whether you feel like that was something you already wanted, whether you feel like, it's something that you've aspired to. When you have envy, you look at the life of somebody else and say, I want their life. I should have their life. It's very close, but it's a nuance to it, because in jealousy, it's more so because you have it, they're scared that they won't have it, or because you have it, it makes them less likely to get it. Versus envy, I want your whole life. I want that. I want that regardless of what you did to get it. I want that. So it's very close, but a little bit different because the intent is different. I don't want you to have it because I feel like I deserve it, or I'm afraid that if you have it, I won't get it. That's jealousy. Envy is, I don't care what's going on. I want your life, period. I want that car, period. I want that house, period. Just because you have it. So the envy and the jealousy is very close in terminology, but it's a little bit different because of the intent. Envy compares, jealousy competes. Jealous people will do things like, and these are just straight up behaviors outside of real life examples, just behaviors that you will be able to pinpoint and you can see like, oh, this person did that to me. That person did this to me. Okay, let's run through the list. Number 1, acting weird when something good happens to you. Downplaying your accomplishments, getting quiet when you talk about your life, making little jokes that don't feel like jokes. You'll see this when people give backhanded compliments, do little nice nasties. It's all little undercuts to try to knock you down a couple notches because you already make them feel inferior. watching you but not supporting you. That is a huge one. And I see this constantly, especially on Instagram. People are saying that they're struggling to grow on social media, or even just struggling to find community. Even if you're not even trying to grow on and become a content creator or whatever, they're finding issues with finding community and finding support from people that they once knew at one point in their lives. Because I hate to break it to you, when somebody went to school with you, used to work with you, used to be an old friend, it's an unsaid rule that if they don't have security in themselves and they don't have things going on for themselves, supporting you would like be walking on broken glass. It takes too much from them to support you because they're not happy where you are. They're not happy where they at. Got that a little twisted up. They're not happy where they at. So now they coming at you crazy. They looking at you crazy, and they not saying nothing because they low key, no tea, no shade. What you post and what you got going on makes them feel away. Because if you don't feel away about what somebody else is doing, it takes nothing from you to show love to somebody else. That is literally a pinpoint of somebody who is not jealous, who is not envious. They will show love and to support to whoever they desire, and it takes nothing from them. But if you're a jealous person, you're going to be a monitoring spirit. And for those who don't know what a monitoring spirit is, that is a cultural term coined by people that are on Instagram, where people will watch everything that you do and not say a word. They QT. So I'm just saying, and it's because they knew you at one point in life, and they're trying to size you up to make sure you're not outdoing them for their own pride, ego, and esteem. Yeah. Anyways, saying you change when you start growing. I definitely do realize that when you are trying to better your life, some people will try to be like, oh, you change, you acting different, you think you better, da, 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 da. No, change, elevation. If you was elevating too, you wouldn't be offended by them wanting to change. You'll be surprised by the amount of people who are offended by your growth, because they feel like, how dare you grow? I ain't grow yet, so how dare you grow? It's literally, like I said, when you're a jealous person, it's because that fear and your insecurity ain't been checked. And you got to put that love into yourself to not do these weird behaviors. Because I guarantee if you start acting jealous with somebody and they clock your weirdness, they're literally going to distance themselves from you. And then boom, you ain't going to have nobody. Envious people will often ask how you did something. And I don't think that's wrong. But if you're only asking me how I did something and you're not supporting me, red flag. Because that means you don't care to show me love. You just want me to help you get what I got. Weird. Wanting advice. Now, granted, I am an advice queen, so I don't necessarily think that wanting advice is a horrible thing. But like I said before, only wanting advice to know every little step of how I did something is not cool. You do have to, at some point, find your own way. And that is on your journey to decide. Don't just be hitting up somebody trying to figure out every little thing that they did, whatever. Like I said, I don't think advice is a certified red flag. But if they are always asking how you did something, and this kind of ties back to the first thing. If they are always asking how you did something, or always asking for advice, and they never show love to you or try to help you or anything of that, they're envious, comparing themselves to you. Now, someone that is envious compares themselves a little bit differently, because it's more so, dang, I wish I had what they had. Versus, like I said before, the jealous person is irritated that you got it in the first place because it makes them feel inferior. You catch my drift? Cool. And feeling sad about their own situation. So if you are talking about, oh my gosh, look at my ring, he just proposed, they'll be like, oh, I wish I got proposed to. Oh, I wish I found my partner. Oh, like that. They're sad, but they make it the whole situation. Wanting the same lifestyle, the confidence, and we kind of went through all of that. Just wanting the life that you have. I think that balls down the point to envy is when somebody really wants what someone else has. Now that we have a basis of understanding, we can get into some real life examples to help you pinpoint whether somebody is jealous of you or if they could be envious of you. Although people use envy and jealousy interchangeably, the person who has those feelings don't react the same way. A jealous person will react one way, and someone who is envious will react another way. So through these real life examples, I will break down to you how I believe a jealous person will react versus how I believe an envious person will react. Let's get into it. Oftentimes when you start doing better in life, do people frequently start to reveal their colors? Not because it's on purpose, but I told y'all, certain things in life get the esteem acting crazy. And next thing you know, what people are showing jealousy and envy. So if you are better in your life, you trying to get a new job, you getting a new car, new house, you're starting to post online, you're starting a new business. When I tell you, the envious and the jealous people will just jump out. Woo, woo, woo. A jealous person will be like, what they think they better than me because they better in their life? What they think they better? Instead of working on themselves to be better, they take your newfound success, your newfound desire to better your life as an attack. Instead of working on themselves, before you know it, they starting to act funny with you. Any compliments you share, they're silent. They stop supporting. Seeing your elevation reminds them that they're not really doing that much. Or they're not doing as much as they could be doing, which makes them act all out of character and start acting funny with you. Envious person will say, I want to be where she is or he. I want to be where they are. I want that. You got a new car? I want a new car now. You got a new house? I want a new house. It's very like, not, oh, what she thinks she better or what they think they better. It's, no, I want that. I want that. Whew. And that's a little bit scary, because when someone sees your new success and they want that, sometimes they'll do all types of things to get that. That just depends on the level of envious person you're dealing with. So if you are, having newfound success, chasing your dream, honestly, I would share it with the people I'm comfortable sharing with it and keep it, you know what I'm saying? Because people will really start to hate you, for wanting better in your life. And granted, like I said, I share my wins. I don't have a problem. But if you are someone who is hesitant to share your wins because somebody is jealous or envious of you, I definitely understand, because when you have people that are envious of you, they will copy you. And that could be very uncomfortable. I said, and I'm going to take it back. You don't have to stop telling people your accomplishments, but be wary of your moves. Because if you sit up here and you say you're going to do something, if the jealous person hears it, they could, try to talk you out of your plan by saying, oh, you think you better because you're doing this, da, 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 da. Jealous people will try to talk you out of it sometimes. An envious person, envious people can be a little bit trickier to deal with, because a lot of the people that may be envious of you may never even tell you. They may just secretly want your life internally. And like I previously said before, people that want your life sometimes will go to dark lengths to get it. So I do want you guys to protect yourself the best that you can. I would not be telling people my every little move. I share my accomplishments with who I feel comfortable sharing my accomplishments with, because it get crazy. People get a little crazy. That's why I always tell y'all, work on that esteem, work on that self. Because if you have self-love, you have self-esteem, you'll never need to be jealous or envious of anyone. Because if that envy and that jealousy take over, you'll turn into a whole different person that you don't even recognize. Next example, when you're getting attention. Okay? If you are someone who gets attention from people, whether it's at work, going out, family, whatever, wherever you at, and you getting any type of attention, somebody who is envious of you will say, they are always getting attention. I wish I had their confidence so that I can get attention too. Someone who is jealous will get irritated by the attention that you get and will try to overtalk you. Like I said before, try to compete and try to draw the attention back to themselves because they don't like that you're getting more attention than they are. That messes with what we say earlier, esteem, the self-esteem. You getting attention makes them feel insecure. So when you're jealous, instead of just thinking, dang, I wish I had confidence like them. You know what I mean? They like, well, how dare she get all that attention? Let me try to get it back for myself. That's why I say, I can understand envy because you want it for yourself. With jealousy because you're just mad because somebody else is getting it and you feel like they don't deserve it because you want it to be you. It's a little bit. And as these examples continue to go, you'll understand even more about what I'm talking about. Whenever you get into a relationship, I've seen this specifically when people get into relationships, get engaged, or get married. I've seen this several times. People act a little different with you because you're in a relationship, or your relationship is excelling and they are not in a relationship, or they may not be happy in their current relationship. Whatever the reason is, a lot of the times when you get into a relationship, the jealous and the envious people jump out the closet. If a person is jealous of you and see you entering in a happy relationship, they may say things like, well, they probably getting cheated on. Oh, he or she not that attractive anyway. Or they'll say all these negative things to try to tarnish your relationship or try to put down your relationship to make themselves feel more whole. That's one thing I do notice about jealousy is when somebody is jealous of you, they try to tell themselves whatever they need to tell themselves to soothe their ego, to soothe their esteem. I think that is a huge driver of jealousy and envy in people, is just to soothe themselves or to pacify their own shortcomings. They're hating on you, being jealous of you because you're in a relationship. Maybe they're not in a relationship they want to be in. Maybe they're not in a relationship at all. Maybe they're struggling to find love. You never know people's reasonings. But if they are jealous of you, they will definitely try to discredit your relationship, talk down on your relationship, and sometimes get to acting funny with you. Once you found a relationship that is working or a relationship that is evolving, people who are jealous of you will move differently when it comes to you, because now that you're in a relationship or you're married or whatever the case may be, it messes with their esteem because either they're not in a relationship they want to be in, they're not in a relationship at all. They can't stop getting cheated on. That person that they with is dragging them through and through. So seeing your happiness in this relationship does something to the ego, something to the esteem. And that's why somebody that is jealous of you will talk down on your relationship or try to do anything to discredit the state of happiness that you're in this relationship to soothe themselves. Even say things like, oh, it's not gonna last. I give it a month. I give it a year. They be excited for the relationship to end because they was irritated the relationship even started. Hello. Versus an envious person might just want the love that you have. Oh, I wish I had a relationship like that. I wish, I was with somebody that would marry me. It's more so aspiration. And that's the thing with envy. Sometimes it could be really dark, but sometimes it could be a realization that, hey, I want what that person has for myself. It may not always be super dark and super eerie, like I'm willing to do whatever I want to get their life. Sometimes it's, dang, I wish I had that. You know what I'm saying? But aspiring too much will definitely lead into the enviness. I said the enviness, the enviousness, because if you allow your aspiration to become obsessive, it does turn into envy. There's a very thin line between aspiration and being envious of someone. When you're aspirational, people aspire for that. They aspire. You set an example of what's possible and people look to that and be like, oh, wow, that's amazing to have. That would be cool to have. I wish I had that. Now, when that dark envy go in, and they be like, I wish I had that relationship, then boom, they trying to take your partner. That's an example of envy / aspiration turned dark. So I definitely want to say this. Not all envy comes from a bad place. If you don't check that envy, it goes to a dark place. So it's 1,000% okay to see people that are in relationships and be like, oh, I want a happy committed relationship. Oh, I want a happy committed marriage. Oh, I want this, I want that. But to say, no, I want your partner, that's why I say envy kind of has a little bit more nuance to it, because the person can admit they want this for themselves. The jealous person, on the other hand, is discrediting to soothe their own ego. If that makes sense. And this is a perfect example on how, envy has a nuance to it, because you could want something and you could wish for something, but it could also be aspirational and not be dark. Like the same energy envy normally comes with. It's not 1,000% dark. Sometimes it's just the realization that I want that for myself, and I'm going to work towards that. It becomes that dark envy when you don't want to work towards and you just want to take it just because somebody else has it. That's that little teeter category that I say is a little bit of a difference between jealousy and envy, because envy, they may just want that for themselves, and the fact that you have it and be like, oh dang, I wish I had that. It doesn't have to carry that same heavy tone that sometimes jealousy has automatically. I never could like understand jealousy from a positive way, because when it comes to jealousy, I've noticed that people discredit, they compete, they do all these things when that feeling of jealousy gets in their body. When it comes to envy, I definitely feel like envy is more aligned with I'm aspiring to be that. But if you don't check that envy and you become obsessed with the person who is inspiring you, that's when the envy go too far. But next real life example. When you have confidence, a jealous person will say, oh, they are so arrogant. They think they all that. You ain't even all of that. You think you all that, but you ain't even all that. An envious person, dang, they got confidence, good confidence. I wish I had that. You see how it's really like, jealousy is low-key the bad guy for sure, because I could see how in envy I feel like with envy, at the end of the day, all you want is what they have for yourself. Like I said, if it's fixation on one person, then I gotta flag you. That's a little, come on, work on yourself. But with jealousy, it just seems like no matter what the person do, you don't see no positivity in it. You're just mad. You're literally just mad all the time. You're literally just mad. And stay to the end, because we're gonna break down why envious people are envious and why jealous people are jealous. So stay tuned. We're gonna do that right after we finish up these examples. I have one more example to help you really understand the difference between people who may be jealous of you and people who may be envious of you. Okay? And for every example, the person that is not jealous or envious, they will support, be happy, clap, move on. It's not even no contention or problem or issue or nothing. They just focused on themselves. So that's why I'm not really covering what do people who aren't jealous or envious do, because it's clear that they wouldn't do that. Okay? Next example. Lastly, the envy definitely jumps out when you're happy with your life. Like, that's really when you get the most people jumping out the woodworks, because your happiness is so genuine and it doesn't look performative. People want that. When you're happy and a jealous person catch wind of your happiness, they get irritated by it, because it's like, why do you have happiness and I don't? Jealous person will say things like, oh, you think your life is so perfect. You think you better than everybody. You ain't better than nobody. Your life ain't better than mine. You think you so happy. I'm happier than you. Like we noted before, jealousy competes. Okay, now out of nowhere, we having a happiness competition. What? Now we trying to see who happier than who? Ain't got time for that. Versus the envious person would say, I want their happiness. Now granted, that can be a little bit dark, but this next section we're going to break down why envious people are envious and why jealous people are jealous, because even though they're very similar in nature, like we said before, the intent is very different. So let's break it down. Jealousy usually comes from fear and insecurity. Okay? Not just because they want what you have. It's your success, your confidence, your life makes them feel inferior, and to get the balance back, they talk down on your life to make it seem like it's more equal. When whole time you're not even competing with them. This is an internal competition that they're dealing with themselves. Okay, I want to make that very clear. When somebody is jealous or envious, that is a personal choice that they do have to work through. But in this context, it's because your life, what you got going on, makes them feel inferior. And instead of working on themselves, bettering themselves, focusing on what they need to focus on to make them feel more secure in self and have less fear, they rather put it on you, drag you down, put what you got going on like it's nothing, because they feel inadequate and they feel like they are not enough. And your success, your life, your confidence, everything that you got going on makes them feel like they should be doing more. And because they may not be mentally ready to do more, they use that energy to put you down and to make it seem like what you got going on ain't all that, and that they have more going on than you. Literally. Insecurity and fear. Because what you got going on makes them feel threatened by you. Simple. So if you are someone that is jealous and you're using this video to pinpoint behaviors in jealousy, check yourself. And like I said, we're not all exempt. Jealousy is a very human emotion, but it becomes a weird emotion if you don't check yourself. Like, if you don't, because who am I to say? We've all had moments of insecurity where we feel like we're not our best and we're fearful, wondering if we're going to stay in the same place. But you can't let that foster hatred towards other people. You have to look into yourself. And honestly, with jealousy, I definitely do feel like there is a sense of hatred that comes along, because you start becoming resentful to this person for making you feel inferior when they're literally just living their life. That's it. They're just living their life. So I definitely do want to say, if you are somebody that is currently experiencing jealousy on the receiving end or doing the jealousy, definitely look at these behaviors. Spot out the ones who you need to filter out. And if you are somebody that is showing signs of jealousy, check yourself. Look into yourself. See why you feel insecure. See why you feel inferior. Figure out what fears you're trying to overcome and work on them. Like I said, we are all human, but it becomes weird when jealousy becomes your personality. You can't just check it off, move on, and be happy for other people. You're constantly jealous. You're constantly being hateful. You're constantly trying to compete. You're constantly not trying to support. It makes you hard to be a person to be around. So don't say Tati ain't tell you, because you're getting it right here. Now, let's move on to envious. Why do people be envious? Now, I've been telling y'all, envy is a little bit different. When somebody is envious, it boils down to them just wanting more for themselves. So when they see someone that has more, it automatically becomes, I wish I had that. It really has nothing to do with the actual person, but the situation that's happening, whether it's a better career, a new car, a new relationship, getting married, all of those things. They see it in somebody else and they're reminded like, dang, I want that for myself. I want that for myself. And it often comes from lack of effort, different paths, different directions, not going down the path that you wish you would have chosen, and seeing how that fruition turned out for somebody else. It does a little sting, because with envy, it's coming from a personal place. Jealousy is too, but for the insecurity and the fear place. Envy is coming from the lack of completion. Okay? The lack of, dang, I always wanted love for myself, and I see them in love, and I'm reminded that I never got love like that. Envy comes from a lack of fulfillment. So if you are somebody that wants the life of somebody else, the easiest fix, the easiest fix is to work on yourself. Like I said, jealousy is kind of the same. But with envy, you take that direction from aspiring and wanting the life of somebody else, and you start applying it to yourself. And I guarantee you'll never be envious of someone ever again. Because like I said, I do believe jealousy is a human emotion, and so is envy. But if it goes unchecked, you truly become a problematic individual, and ain't nobody want to be around you. Like, you get what I'm saying? Because when you have those feelings, sometimes they come out and you don't even realize they're coming out. But all in all, like I said, I do think envy is a very human emotion, but you got to check it and stop basing your life on a blueprint of somebody else. Have your own life. Do your own thing. Like, march to the beat of your own drum. Like, it's so many ways to get what you want out of this life. And if you only looking at one person and comparing every little thing to that one person, you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Like, it's not worth it. And if it is people out there that is envious of you and jealous of you, you have every right not to want to keep being in contact with them. Because, and I saw this video on TikTok, shout out to that young lady, and she kind of sparked this video because she was saying how she had to distance herself from her friend because she was living a life that she always wanted and it was too much for her to stomach. I give my kudos to her, because if you know that you're envious of somebody and their life is bothering you, it is best to remove yourself instead of adding hatred and weird energy to the person that did nothing to deserve that. They're literally just living their life unapologetically, okay? And you sitting up there frothing at the lips, hoping, one, to get their life one day, get what they have in their life one day, or being mad that it's them and not you. That's asking a lot for the person that's on the receiving end to deal with it. And that's why I'm making this video for you guys. One, to determine, do you have a little haters, jealousy, enviation in your circle? Or, are you the jealous and envious one? Because like I said, none of us are perfect, okay? That's why I love doing these talk down, sit down videos with you guys, because it allows us to dive even deeper to the psychology behind behaviors and try to figure out why we move how we move. Like, you get what I'm saying? And granted, your girl is not certified in psychology, but I'm certified in observation. Like, I observe for fun. And I take note of all my observations and I put them in together with, a little bit more research to really give y'all the lay down on what be happening and what be going on in society. So if you like this video, make sure to thumbs it up. Drop your comments down below. Have you ever dealt with envious people? Have you ever dealt with somebody that was jealous? Were you ever envious? Were you ever jealous? I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all. I want to hear it all. So make sure you comment down below. Are there any signs I missed? Put them in the below. Put them in the below. Put them in the comment section below. But like I said, share this video with your people. Thumbs this video up. Share your thoughts below. And I cannot wait to see you guys next time. Bye.